I mean, think of it. Trying to give your own explanation as to why what happened when you don't have all the information is just useless. Not just useless, but it's damaging. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to talk about how to not overthink things. I used to overthink things. I used to want to understand every single layers. I used to try to underpin every single corner. I realized how damaging it was for me, at least, because when you don't understand why one person did what he did, or why what is happening, you can just give an explanation based on your own understanding and perception of the whole situation, and there's a high probability that you're wrong. You might be right, but there's as well a high probability of you being wrong. And so, does it really worth it? That's what we're going to be talking about today. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm Tirana, and this is Tirana TV, a place for entrepreneurship and self-development. We are all about taking control of our lives. We are all about taking control of our mindset. So if that is something you're trying to achieve, make sure that you join us by hitting that subscribe button. Don't forget the notification button as well, so you don't miss out on videos that we share every single week. Right, the first thing that I think that I will advise anybody that has a habit of overthinking things is to be honest with yourself, to actually question why. Why do you overthink things? Because you cannot solve a problem if you don't understand why in the first place you're doing what you're doing. And so to solve that problem, you need to understand why. What triggers that habit? Is there any specific area of your life where you tend to overthink things? I've got a friend, for example, that he thinks that everything that happens is because somebody is doing something in the black magic type of way. And so he tends to interpret every single thing that is happening in his life as somebody is trying to get me, or something is trying to warn me, or this or that. I mean, I just don't know how somebody can live his life like that. Because how can you live a life where you are always trying to justify everything that happens from a negative point of view? Like, everything that happens in his life is like, oh, somebody's doing some black magic, or maybe somebody's trying to kill me, oh, this broke because it's trying to warn me about a danger. I'm not saying that that dimension is non-existent. All I'm trying to say is that sometimes the reason why you overthink things has to do with your belief system. Your values and belief have a big impact on how you live your life. And so if you believe that people are always hunting you, trying to bring you down, that belief is going to craft your life in such a way that will be very unhealthy. I mean, the same way you believe that everything is happening because somebody is behind doing bad, you might, for example, believe that everything is happening because there is somebody behind who is doing good. So you say that two people who have different sets of belief will live a different experience of the same life. I'm sure that knowing why you tend to overthink things will help you to come up with how to recover from that. Think of the reason why you get scared. Think of the reason why you get concerned to a deepest level about situations. Think of the negative impact that overthinking has on your life. If you take a minute to reflect on scenarios where you tend to overthink things, what were the result? What were the outcome of you overthinking things? And if you look at those outcomes, they are talking to you. The outcomes are shouting at you, saying, stop overthinking things, because as you see, you made yourself so miserable. And then it ended up not being quite what you thought it was. So technically, you spent a good chunk of your time making yourself miserable for nothing. So when you start thinking like that, when you start reflecting on your behavior, why you do what you do, what are the triggers, and what is the benefit? What is the benefit of you overthinking things? Think of the result and see for yourself if it was worth it. If it worth it, it means you are some sort of psychic and you can predict, you can have all the information about a situation without even having all the information. Like, good for you. Good for you. But as for me, I realized that it was damaging for me. It was making me miserable. I was spending hours and hours thinking about something that I didn't have enough information to understand. And it's just a waste of time, waste of energy, and waste of happiness. The second thing we're going to talk about is to make a list. Write down 2 lists. One list of things that you love about yourself, the quality that you see in yourself that are favorable in terms of keeping you happy regardless of the situation. So when you are going through a very unpleasant situation, what quality that you have that keep you happy, that are favorable to your mental health? For example, you might say, I am resilient. I am able to look past current situations. I talk to my friend because that helps me. I play music to make myself feel better. Those are things like that. Pick up your habit. How do you tend to react to unpleasant situations? On the other list, write down everything that you tend to do that are negative. For example, you're comfortable thinking about the same thing again and again. You tend to talk about the same thing to friends again and again. Write down those habits that you notice that you tend to do when you're going through unpleasant situations. That will help you come up with the third list, a list of things that you want to work on. So by reflecting on things that you tend to do that are good for you and things that you tend to do that are bad for you in that situation, you will be able to understand things that you need to work on, and it will be a wake-up call for you each time that you catch yourself doing exactly what you said you need to work on. If, for example, you tend to talk to friends when you are going through a tough time because it makes you feel better, then you might say, okay, when I talk to friends, I will make sure that we don't go on and on and on about it, because by going on and on and on about it, it makes me overthink. I might listen to music, I might go for a run. So those are things that you can put on your third list and put it on the place where you need to constantly revisit so that you keep track of your progress. If you tend to overthink things, then I've got one major advice to give you, and it is to learn to meditate and visualize. Meditation will help you a lot. Among all the benefit, it will help you calm down. It will breathe in so much oxygen that you need for your whole system to slow down and help you to relax. So if you feel like something happened that you're not happy about and you tend to overthink it, it's better to take 5 minutes and meditate. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. It's going to help you calm down. And also visualization. Visualization will take your mind out of that situation. If you visualize, you will create a different reality to what you are going through. So if you don't like what happened, you can create a different version of what happened by using visualization. I love that. I really do, because when something happened in my life that I don't like, and I tend to think why, or it's bothering me, I'm fighting it, but it keeps coming back, I tend to create my own version of event, if that makes sense. So I'm going to visualize the same thing with my own interpretation of why it happens, with my own twist of positivity, and it makes me happy. That's smart. Why would you want to put a negative twist to a story or to a situation when you don't have all the information? Why not put a positive twist to that situation? And if it happens tomorrow that you were wrong, you didn't lose anything. You didn't lose sleep over things that you didn't know. Now you're going to deal with the reality. You deal with it according to the information that you've got. And so at the end, overthinking is a choice, and it's a question of perception. It's your choice to put a negative spin on a situation or to put a positive spin on it. I might walk in a room and people are staring at me, and it's my choice to either think that, oh, they're looking at me because I am ugly. They're looking at me because I'm not well dressed. Or they're looking at me because I'm beautiful. Or they're looking at me because I am attractive. So you see that it's a question of perception, and it plays down to that. So the last point that I'm going to talk about is to make a conscious and personal decision to change your way of thinking. So if you think that you overthink things sometime, it means you need to choose to change. Nobody's gonna do that for you. You need to choose to change. You need to say, okay, from now on, I decide to keep an eye on my thinking pattern. People who love you will talk to you. They will be like, oh, please stop overthinking thing and all. But unless and until you decide to stop overthinking things, that will be your reality. It's going to be like back to square one, back to square one, back to square one. Every time something happens that troubles your system. By taking a personal decision to change your thinking habit, thinking pattern, you are likely to succeed. You're likely to put in the effort. You're likely to put in the time, the consistency of tracking yourself, tracking your thought pattern under those type of situations. So that's all I wanted to talk about today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up. I will see you guys in another video. Peace.